Hey guys, before we get started on the video today, I wanted to let you know that I got some new equipment in order to upgrade the channel. I got it because I have a new series that I plan on having started by the end of the month. I'm figuring out the logistics for it right now, but it will be out as soon as possible. I think you guys will really enjoy that. But all videos moving forward should be at 1080p, and obviously I got this nice new camera. So be sure to like the video if you like the new setup, and if you have any constructive criticism, leave that in the comment section down below. But in regards to this video, recently I had found a topping list from the OCG of control code talkers that is completely legal here in the TCG in regards to our ban list, excluding of course Decode Talker Heat Soul, which is the missing card that you need to play the deck in the TCG. But I got some games in, I tested with it, I wanted to see how they really ran the deck in the OCG in order to get a good feel for it. And I got about 20 games in, only lost one of them. But I wanted to give you guys a general breakdown on how to play the deck, as well as some useful combos for doing so. So without further ado, let's go ahead and head in to our combos. So the general concept of the deck is to abuse Decode Talker Heat Soul to draw as many cards as possible. It lets you pay 1,000 life points to draw a card during either player's turn. We go about doing this by playing as many trap cards as we can so that we draw into traps, and playing as few monsters as possible. We're able to do this because there's a total of 3 monsters in the Cyber's typing that are 1-card Heat Souls. Dotscaper, Cyber Skagit, and Lady Debug. We use the trap cards in order to protect Decode Talker Heat Soul because the longer it stays on board, the more draws that we're going to get. If you let it stay on board just until your next turn, it will let you draw 3 cards. One off of its own effect on your turn, then one off of its effect on the opponent's turn, and then one back on yours. That's not even counting your normal draw phase, so you're getting 4 cards just keeping this thing alive. You're going to win the long game very easily. The same cards that you use for starters also double as OTK tools, as if you draw them off of your Decode Talker Heat Soul, they'll let you OTK the opponent as soon as you get to them. Now this is a much easier version of Code Talkers than the TCG variant, but there's still some stuff that you need to know, ways to play around Nibiru, and some easy OTKs. Our first combo here is a very easy way to play around Nibiru with Lady Debug. This lets you get out Decode Talker Heat Soul without having to worry about your opponent Nibiruing your board. You're able to accomplish this because Code Generator doesn't need to be on field in order to link. You can link it away from hand, so you don't have to dedicate a summon to it, so you end on your 4th summon being Decode Talker Heat Soul. Our second combo is very similar to the first one, letting you play around Nibiru. However, with this combo, you'll end with Decode Talker Heat Soul, a counter trap, and either Ling Garibo or Link Karibo, depending on your matchup. Our third combo here is a way to play around Nibiru if you can't stop your opponent from activating Nibiru. The trick here is that your opponent gives you a token with Nibiru. You can link off that token for Link Spider. Then, if you have an additional extender and you haven't used Splash Mage yet, you can special summon your extender, go into Splash Mage, bring back one of your monsters, and then go into Transcode Talker. Assuming that you summon Decode Talker Heat Soul as your 5th summon, you can bring that back with Transcode Talker. However, if you had to summon something else earlier on in your combos and weren't able to go into Decode Talker Heat Soul, you can bring back a different monster. If it's a Link 2 or lower that's not an Earth, you can actually just go ahead and go into Decode Talker Heat Soul anyway. Ultimately, you kind of just want to avoid summoning your Splash Mage early on in case you have to use it in order to recover. And keep in mind, you should still have plenty of trap cards in order to back up your board. Our next replay is going to be an OTK that can be performed using Cyber Skagit and a Decode Talker Heat Soul in your graveyard. You're not going to be able to perform this until your 2nd turn, but it's a very good combo to know. You're going to be summoning an access code with this combo, and the access code at minimum is going to have 3 pops. It should usually have more than that, but at minimum it's going to have 3. Your access code talker also will not be targetable thanks to the effect of transcode talker. Our remaining combos are all combos that can be performed using Scapegoat. This card just went to 2 in Japan, so fingers crossed. Our first combo here is done with Scapegoat and just Scapegoat. This will give you 2 of your boss monsters, 1 pop, and a draw. These combos come up a lot more than you would imagine, as you get a lot of draws off of Heat Soul, and you don't have to search very much, so you do actually play 3 Desires in this deck. This is also a control deck, so you are likely to run into some longer games, and this card feels like it's an auto-win button. This next combo can be performed using Scapegoat and any main deck Cybers monster that's in your graveyard. This combo isn't necessarily any better than the first one, but it is good to know because it can come up in situations where your life is a little bit lower, or you don't really want to go into Decode Talker Heat Soul. Instead, we're going to be ending on a Firewall Dragon with a single bounce. The Firewall Dragon will also be a 3000 attacker and be untargetable thanks to the effect of our Transcode Talker. Our next combo with Scapegoat is going to be one that you can perform if you have a main deck Cybers monster in the graveyard and Decode Talker Heat Soul. This actually comes up a lot since the main deck Cybers monster in the graveyard and the Heat Soul in the graveyard is kind of the result of your regular turn 1 plays. And this combo is really good to know because it's a full OTK. In many situations, it's even better than the Cybers gadget play, since you're going to get an additional bounce thanks to Security Dragon. We're back with the deck here, and I have to say it feels entirely different than the TCG variant. What is really nice though, is that now, depending on the format, you can pick and choose whether you play combo or control. For example, in the last format, this probably would have been the better variant because of VFD floating around, but it's difficult to say with the upcoming format because the TCG variant is a lot better at breaking boards. What is noteworthy is that this deck is probably the better variant regardless in the OCG because of Max C floating around, and in the OCG, this is a tiered deck. So we'll have to wait and see how this pans out in the TCG, but definitely get excited for the release of Decode Talker Heat Soul whenever it gets announced. Thanks for watching the video. Tell me in the comments section down below what you'd like to see next, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.